evening and welcome to another episode of Late Night with Lenette. I'm Lenette Peterson, your host. Our Maggie moment has to do with the right to know. We've heard a lot in the past few months about Hillary Clinton and her emails and dumping her emails and things like that, and how they're trying to get to the bottom of all this, and she's trying to say that nothing suspicious has happened. I gave you everything that was warranted. Well, our own governor, our illustrious governor, I think she went to the Hillary Clinton School of Deceive and Destroy. Our governor has two email addresses, one for business, one for pleasure. That's fine and dandy. However, the people don't get to see her emails. And I have a quote here from our Attorney General Dempsey. Those documents constitute attorney-client privilege. Drafts, notes, and/or deliberative processes under the executive privilege are therefore exempt from disclosure. Really? She's our governor. She should have to show all this stuff. The right to know is just that. We have the right to know what our governor is up to. I don't know. I think she's getting too close to Hillary Clinton, and she needs to find a different school to go to. Deceive and destroy is not the New Hampshire way. This week in the House of Representatives, they have two hot topics that are coming up. The first one, gambling yet again. Now we know this is the cash cow for our governor. She thinks she's going to pass her budget, and we're going to bring in millions and millions of dollars with this one casino we're going to get. We'll see how it plays out on the House floor. I'm hoping it gets killed, but that's my choice. We'll see what the House of Representatives comes up with. The next big issue is Senate Bill 116, constitutional carry. This bill passed the state Senate and went to the House committee, passed in committee. Now it's being presented on the House floor for a vote on Wednesday. And here to discuss Senate Bill 116 is Robert Bouilard with Second Amendment Foundation. Welcome, Robert, or Bob. Can I call you Bob?
Sure.
Okay, very good. Now, what's your take on Senate Bill 116?
It should pass.
Yeah, I agree.
And Maggie should sign it.
Maggie should sign it, but you think she will?
It depends. She's looking to run for Senate next year. So if she's inclined to get any of the gun votes, she just might, or she just might let it sit on her desk and time lapse. That way, she can basically say, well, I didn't know it was there.
Exactly.
And I would have vetoed it if I knew it was there.
Yeah.
But who knows? We'll see how it goes.
Now, one thing that I heard, if we don't have a concealed permit, now I heard there were 20 states that we wouldn't have reciprocity with if we didn't have the permit. Is this true?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you don't. Now, if we have constitutional carry, you won't have to get a concealed permit. But if you want to take it into...
It'll be voluntary, yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
And huge issues with that?
I don't have issues with that, no.
Oh, neither do I.
I mean, I will still get my license. Right. Because I want that reciprocity with the other states. But it shouldn't be, a misdemeanor if you, put a coat on because you're cold. Right, exactly. Right? There's what's the difference?
Right, exactly. Okay? Yeah, and what issue I have with the concealed permits, you can't laminate it. You have to have it with you whenever you conceal, and over time, that little piece of paper, you can't read it, and it's good for 5 years. I know I just had to get another one. Mine, I couldn't read it, and then it went through the wash, so I really couldn't read it. I wish you could laminate them. I wonder what their issue is with laminating.
Well, I've done it, actually. I've done it in the past, but, I always keep the original.
Right.
I laminate it, I shrink it down, then laminate it.
Oh, so you make a copy of the one that you have?
Yeah, trust me, they know that you have it anyways.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah. Well, now that's a good idea. I should make a copy.
They say there is no gun registry in New Hampshire, but the cops who stop you already know when they stop you if you have a license to carry.
Right, right.
So, in fact, I had a 911 call at my house about a gas leak, and I was on my way to the 2A rally in Concord. I got a call on my cell phone from Manchester PD asking me if everything was all right because they know I have guns. Like, you know.
Nice.
That's not strange at all.
Yeah, no kidding. And they're wondering why, 911 call with a gun owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it couldn't be anything else but guns.
Of course not.
Of course not. No.
So yeah, no, I thought that was strange that they called me personally, but find out if everything was okay.
Yeah. Now, I have been schooled by many people when I've called it a license. Mm-hmm. And others say, no, it's a permit. It's a license to carry. No, it's a permit to conceal. Does it matter?
The difference is a permit is you need permission from the government. Mm-hmm. A license, you're buying back your rights from the government.
Right.
Okay, so they want their take.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
They're saying, yeah, you know, this is a license. We can't, you know, it's your right, but we want some money out of it.
Right.
You know, and that's one of the state's arguments. That, you know, in fact, when I was up when it was going through the Senate, I was up there and state police were arguing that, you know, this is almost $1 million revenue stream for them, okay, and that should not be one of the arguments.
Yeah, no.
But that's the argument they're making, okay. And again, they're not going to lose that revenue stream, right, because probably a good portion of, you know, people who carry a gun are going to get that license anyways.
Oh yeah, especially if you do any traveling.
Okay. Right.
Vermont, yes, they're very gun friendly, but you're still going to have that the license to go into Vermont. I go down to Florida.
Actually, you don't.
Well, I do. I always have it just in case. Yeah. You never know if you get some whack job rookie, or someone.
I've done classes up in the middle of Vermont, and I got stopped because I just didn't know which way I was going. It was okay, and the cop stopped me because it was, you know, late in the afternoon, and I had a truck full of guns.
Oh wow!
He didn't care.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah. And I travel a lot to Florida. My mother lives down there, and I'll drive to Florida quite often. Yeah. And it's something to have just in case.
Oh, yeah.
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 No, it's good that, you know, our licenses are good in about 21 other states, and I believe we just added Alaska again. Yeah. Alaska had fallen off for some reason. They stopped reciprocity with Alaska, and all of a sudden it's. So I don't know what happened there, but. Interesting.
Now, how many states already have constitutional carry? Do you know?
There's 5. Virginia is very, very close, and so it's the next trend in gun rights where it's going across the country now.
Oh, good.
Okay, and if you look at the statistics back, you know, since the early 70s or so, okay, there's different things that happen at certain times, like preemption laws. Okay, New Hampshire does have preemption laws. Okay, which means only the state can regulate firearms. Whereas, you know, you go into Massachusetts and it's everybody for themselves. You know, Lowell can make their own gun laws, and Boston can make their own gun laws, and you know, it's up to the person who carries to know all these individual city gun laws, which is crazy.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, Massachusetts is crazy anyway.
Well, yeah. I won't go there. So, so this is the next trend in gun rights that we're trying to push is constitutional carry, because you shouldn't have to buy your rights back from the government.
Right. You know, constitutional carry. I mean, that should right then and there it tells you that constitutional. It's in the Constitution, and the Constitution is just the icing on the cake. It's a God-given right. Right. And the Constitution just. Icing on the cake. I mean, it shouldn't be a question. But
I agree.
Yeah, but too many people. Hillary Clinton just came out this weekend, I think it was, saying that automatic and semi-automatics should be banned.
Oh yeah.
Those are scary.
That doesn't surprise me from Hillary.
Yeah.
I do want to make a clarification, though. I'm not from the Second Amendment Foundation.
Oh, okay.
I'm from the Second Amendment Foundation Training Division.
Training Division. Yeah. And I had that written down.
We are affiliated, but there is a difference.
Right. Training Division. Now you are an NRA instructor.
I'm an NRA training counselor. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. And now training for handguns. Is it
all?
All.
We do classes, and I actually teach about 54 different classes now.
Oh wow!
In handgun, rifle, and shotgun. Okay, I don't do anything with muzzle loaders or anything like that, because we're a defensive company.
Right.
Okay, Defensive Strategies is the company name.
Yeah, muzzleloader's not really good on defense.
No, it's not.
I love going with my husband when he's sighting in his muzzleloader in the fall. We'll go to where we go target shooting, and he'll say, well, I'm going to get 3 or 4, do 3 or 4 rounds. I said, okay, cool. And I have a fun 22 that I like taking target practice, 22 handgun. And I'll rattle off 100 rounds, and he gets his 6 rounds in, and he's like, oh, you good? I said, oh, I'm good.
yeah, 6 rounds.
But he does like his muzzleloader, though.
Yeah, no, at least, well, I've got a muzzleloader that you can actually fire probably a good 7 rounds per minute.
Oh wow!
It's a CVA, so it's all electronic and all that.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's a lot faster, and especially if you're using pellets.
Yeah.
Pellets, a lot faster.
No, he's got the ramrod and everything else, and that's his pride and joy. Yeah.
Now we focus on defensive use of firearms, so we focus mainly on handguns, but we do run classes in rifle, shotgun, defensive carbine, defensive shotgun. So, because some people will select a carbine for home defense, okay, they'll select a shotgun for home defense. So we want them to be able to use it, okay. We don't teach them anything about military tactics or being offensive with your firearms. It's all about defense and staying alive in the situation. So, and that's key.
Very good. Now, your classes. More men, more women, 50-50?
Oh boy. Lately, handgun classes have been, typical last handgun class was 15 women and 5 guys.
Oh wow.
Yeah, a lot of women getting into the sport and carrying for defense.
Oh yeah. So. We're definitely the vulnerable race.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that evens it up.
It does.
It does.
Certainly does.
It really does.
And I'm glad to see that too, because the Supreme Court has said many times that police don't have to even answer your 911 call. Right? You are in charge of your own safety. Okay. Police just show up to do the paperwork. All right. So if you're not aware about where you are and what you're doing and who's around you, okay, and you're not taking steps to protect yourself, okay, then you're most likely going to become a victim in today's world.
Right.
So
now I've heard from a couple of guys that like the small little LCPs are real nice for conceal. You can have it in your jacket pocket and no one would know. And that it's even better if you have a laser, that once the perp sees that little red light on them, they usually turn.
Well, I have one of those little LCPs on my line when I do a handgun class, okay, and I do that purposely so that they can see how difficult those little guns are to shoot. Okay, now granted that most instances are going to be between 6 and 12 feet, okay, but even at 10 feet, those little guns, especially under high stress situation, it's hard to hit your target because they're so tiny, okay?
Yep.
And you're pulling a 6-pound trigger on a 1-pound firearm, all right? So when you're pulling that trigger, it's very easy to move. And they hurt because your hand is taking up most of that recoil. But they do have advantages as being very concealable, okay? So, we try to give them as much information when they go out and select a pistol to buy as possible. So we give we let them shoot all the different calibers and the most popular calibers like the 9, the 40, and the 45. And that gives them in the different frame sizes, right? Full size, subcompact, and a compact. So it gives them a good idea of what they want to buy when they actually go out and buy one. So
interesting.
Those little LCPs are difficult to shoot. They really are.
Yeah, I have one. It's I think could it be because the safety's in the trigger that's what?
No, it's because they're so small.
Yeah.
Okay, and they have a very, very short barrel. Okay, so that when you squeeze that trigger, any movement is going to make a huge difference versus something with a 5-inch barrel.
Oh yeah.
So it makes a huge difference. That's why rifles are so much more accurate than pistols, because of the extra length in the barrel.
Yeah, my 22 has a long barrel, and it's a fun gun for
I've
target.
got an AR pistol now.
Okay.
That's got a 7-inch barrel, but
wow.
I don't plan on carrying that concealed.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you could conceal it.
Believe it or not, they're actually making holsters for them. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Boy, that takes something to get it out of the holster with a 7-inch barrel.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's another thing to conceal it too.
Yeah. No kidding. Oh, too funny.
According to the ATF, they're pistols.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting. Yeah. Huh. Now, has there been a certain time when interest in concealed carry or even defense has, is there a time that it was more popular than others?
Well, yeah. In the past 20, if you go back, 20, 30, 40 years ago, the main reason why people were buying guns were hunting and sport. Okay. If you look at why people are buying guns now, it's for personal defense and home defense. All right. So the industry has completely changed. All right. And there's a reason for that. It's because we live in a very volatile world, okay? And crime is everywhere now. It's, New Hampshire, little old New Hampshire, if you look, turn on a scanner for Manchester, New Hampshire, you're going to have a fun night because there's a lot going on in Manchester. And most of it, Union Leader, the rags don't pick it up.
Yeah, I work in Manchester. I work in Manchester now since, I guess, June of last year. And there are some days, it was it last Thursday? Oh, my word. Sirens were just going off all day. I would not want to live there.
Well, unfortunately, I do. But
I live here in Merrimack.
I carry a gun.
Yeah, there you go. I live here in Merrimack, and Merrimack is a pretty safe town.
Yeah.
But still, you just never know.
Yeah, if you look at the stats for Manchester, the crime rate in Manchester is 5 times higher than the rest of the state. And there's good reasons for that. But, you look, Manchester does have a gang problem. Okay, we had gangs coming up from New York selling all that heroin that everybody's dying of. And so, and these are not nice people.
No.
So, and then, we've got, Manchester is the refugee city, and that brought a lot of crime along with it. Okay, and of course, Manchester is the largest city in the state, so it just follows.
Right.
So a lot of reasons, but you gotta be able to protect yourself. So.
Yeah, we had my family last Mother's Day. In fact, we had Susan Olson and her husband come to the house, and the whole Peterson clan were certified in handguns on Mother's Day. It was my Mother's Day gift.
Nice.
Yeah, it was fun.
Nice.
Both my daughters and my husband, all 4 of us, and then we went out to we have friends that have a dirt pit that we go target shooting.
Okay.
So it's free.
Yeah.
That's always good. Yeah. And so that was a fun Mother's Day.
Always is.
Yeah, I always get to pick the Mother's Day activity, and that was it for last year.
It's always a good day at the range.
Oh yeah, always. Yeah.
Whether it's raining or whatever.
Now we've found over the past few years that buying bulk ammo is getting harder and harder. Why would that be?
Well, a lot. I really don't know why. There's a shortage. I don't have any problem finding ammo. Okay, for one.
Yeah.
We
just know it's harder to get the bulk. And we used to get 100, 200 rounds, things like that. And now you're
talking about 22s?
22s, and also was it the 9 or the 380? My husband would get bulk. But yeah, 22s we can still find pretty much bulk, but nothing else.
Well, the 22s is because the manufacturers haven't ramped up enough. Okay, they were actually caught off guard after the Sandy Hook thing. Okay, because after Sandy Hook, everybody went out and bought guns. Okay, just the reverse of what they thought was going to happen. All right, and again, we do live in a very strange world. Our government is, never been the way it has been ever before, and I think a lot of people are hoarding. Okay, for one, and again, the manufacturers just don't have the capacity to keep up with all the new gun owners. Okay, so that could be the problems right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's funny how most mass shootings are done in gun-free zones.
Yeah, it's funny how that works out.
Yeah, no, you never hear of something like that at a NRA meeting.
No.
Or where all the guns are at a gun club. You'd never hear of a mass shooting or accidental shootings.
It never has been, because they know people are going to shoot back.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, well, you know, it goes to figure that, you know, gun control is really not about guns. It's about control.
Exactly.
Okay,
yep.
And the more control they can have over us, the better they like it. Okay. Of course, the people who want that control are kind of put off when they figure out that they're also included in that.
Right.
Okay, but a lot of them haven't figured that out yet.
Right.
You know, any laws you make, you have to abide by also.
Right. So all their armed bodyguards, they should turn in their weapons as well. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
So, you know, the nice thing about gun control is that our side wins much more battles than they do. Okay.
Yeah.
And you know, because we have the numbers on our side. Okay. When you look at the number of guns in this country and the number of gun owners, okay, and it's not just Republicans that own guns.
Oh yeah. Okay? Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, my last term up at the State House, I served 2 terms on the House Judiciary, and civil immunity for gun owners came to my committee. My committee wanted to kill it, of course, and they wanted to amend it. It had to be a safe gun, meaning you had to lock it up somewhere. And I argued, well, a safe gun is a useless gun. I said, as far as I'm concerned, if my husband's out of town, my gun's going to be in my bathrobe pocket or on the nightstand. Come in my house, not invited. Well, you breaking and entering. So I fought it on the House floor, and fortunately, I had the support of some Democrats, and we got it overturned and passed. And then it went to the Senate, and only one Republican voted against it.
There's always one.
Yeah, one whack job. Yeah.
This bracelet right here is an RFID chip that opens my gun safe next to my bed.
Oh wow.
So you can secure a gun, right, and still make it accessible. Yeah. Okay. It's just, you just got to find the right tools to do it. Right. So, and the reason why I have that is because I have a 7-year-old granddaughter that lives with us, and I don't want her getting into that. There you go.
Yeah, we don't have any little kids in the house. Right. But my argument with this one was, well, when your car is stolen and used in a crime, you're not held liable. So why should gun owners be victimized twice? Your gun's already stolen. If it's used in a crime, you had nothing to do with that. Right. And fortunately...
well, there was a case a couple of years ago about a grandson that broke into this man's cabin, stole the gun, and I guess shot somebody with it. And they tried to hold him liable. Well, why is he liable for criminal activity?
Exactly.
Okay, the gun was locked up. Yeah. The grandson broke the law by breaking into the home to get the gun.
Right, and that case was used in judiciary. And this was a Democrat bill. Representative Dan Eaton, who's a Democrat, this was his bill. So yeah, it's just not Republicans that have guns. And I got enough support with the Dems that even though the Republicans were in the minority, we got it passed.
So. And look over the border to Vermont.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Vermont's they're a very liberal state, but don't touch their guns.
Don't touch their guns. No way. Yeah.
It's funny. It's just, I know they're definitely an anomaly in the States, for sure.
Yeah, my father moved to Vermont centuries ago, and the tide has turned, and it's no longer the conservative state that it was. Right. But he said, hey, but he can have his guns. They haven't, and they probably have the least gun legislation, gun rules than any state.
Right, and they're one of the safest states to live in.
Right, oh yeah. And now people will say, well, they have more cows than people. Doesn't matter. They still have plenty of people. You have people. You have plenty of people in Vermont. You get a lot of people, there's going to be crime.
Again, it depends on, who's in charge. You go over the border to Maine, okay? And Maine had a constitutional carry bill going through. And the state police were all for it, okay? Our state police is all against it. Right. Okay.
Go figure.
Why the the difference in opinion?
I know it.
Okay. So.
Control.
Of course.
Yeah. Right. And that's all it boils down to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're hoping, you know, that we get this past the House, and I believe it will pass the House, and Maggie's going to have a decision to make.
Right.
So,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I can see her just letting it sit and pass without signature.
That would be nice.
It would be nice.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's, you know, she's teaming up for the Senate seat.
Yes.
And,
yeah. Well, I did have a chance to talk to her the other night at a banquet, and she did indicate to me that she probably will not sign it. She's going to go with the state police, but that again could be, you know, just to throw people off.
Right.
Okay. I think she really wants the Senate seat, and I think she wants some support from, because I mean, look at Scott Brown; he couldn't win without the gun vote.
Right. Exactly.
So if she can pick up a few votes in the gun community, that would certainly help her.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Now, how easy is it to get signed up for one of your classes?
Very easy. Just go to my website, defensivestrategies.org, and look at you know, what class you want to sign up for. A big class, our two biggest flagship classes are Defensive Handgun 1, which is the Second Amendment Foundation Training Division, and NRA Basic Pistol.
Oh, very good. And now, is there an age limit?
No, not typically. The NRA Basic Handgun, Basic Pistol, if they're under 18, then we have to have a parent there with us, okay? Because we're not a babysitting service, obviously.
Right.
Okay, but you know, basically we leave that up to the parents, is the maturity of the child. So.
Yeah, my husband takes young males out every year for youth hunt, and trying to keep the legacy going.
Oh, of course.
One of his boys got a 26-pound Tom.
Nice.
Well, we are just about.
Awesome.
Oh, we got 3 minutes. I saw the clock wrong. Yeah, okay. 26-pound Tom.
Yeah.
Last spring, it was a good-sized bird.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, we're down to about 19 seconds.
All right.
I thank you so much for coming on the show.
No problem.
And folks, again, check out his website if you're interested in taking a gun course. I thank you for tuning in. I ask that you watch us again next week. Have a good night, and God bless.